When I got into the right wing in 2016, it was about three things: hating women, being racist, being anti-Semitic. Those were the three things that the 2016 revolution was all about. That's what the online right was about. That's what the right wing on Twitter was all about. It was about being sexist, being racist, being anti-Semitic. And I thought everybody was on the same page. As time has gone on, however, the only thing that they remain is racist, and that's it. They're not anti-Semitic. They're not sexist. They just beat up on blacks and Indians all the time. And it's almost making me sympathetic. It's like, guys, we gotta shit on women too.
Buckle your seatbelts for this particular video, because there's gonna be several clips in there, and I'm gonna show you how Charlie Kirk's Turning Point people and Nick Fuentes and these types of people like him, these nationalists, white nationalists, Christian nationalist style people that we call them, how they're supporters. There's overlap. They overlap. There's no difference between the two in reality, because they promote making sure women are put in their place. They promote this ideology that the white males are under this great attack and that we must tamper down any other ethnicity, any other color. We gotta tamp it down and take total control within society by utilizing Christianity as our cover. That's what it is, because that's what Turning Point is really all about. It's a false ministry, false whatever you want to call it, that's acting like it's this great family values of sort, but is hiding behind Christianity. But in reality, when you look at, we're going to show you as you look at these clips, and as you see, they intertwine with what Nick Fuentes and all of the people that he associates with. They all intertwine. That's all it does. So let's look at some Nick Fuentes clips and Vincent James clips and some of these other clips of people talking, so that you can see where we're going with this, because you need to see it. Some of you may have seen some of these clips before. Some of you may have never seen it. I want you to see where we're going. Take a look.
You know, the hardest person to be right now in America is white males, right? You're at the bottom of the food chain in the social justice world.
We are the Christian Taliban. This is the era of Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism is on the rise, and people are thirsty for it. They are hungry for this. And we are the Christian Taliban. And we will not stop until The Handmaid's Tale is a reality. And even worse than that, to be honest. Yes, we do have to start rolling back. There was this article from The Atlantic where it's like, well, Alito is on a mission to roll back the rights of women. To roll back the past 100 years of rights that were given to women. Yes, that is what we're doing. And it's only going to get worse for you from here.
Where women don't have the right to vote. And it looks like a society where boys and girls get married as teenagers and start having kids, and they don't use birth control, and they don't use contraceptives, and they have big families and a high birth rate, and it looks like women wearing veils at church, and it looks like women not being in the workforce, and it looks like mothers raising their kids, and it looks like pornography being banned, and homosexuality and transsexuality, as well as heterosexual sodomy, as well as fornication and adultery, being shamed by the society, and maybe in some places, in some jurisdictions, regulated by the law. It's not enough to say we're against trannies. You got to be against women's rights too. It's not enough to be against blue-haired feminism. You got to be against women getting educated. Okay? Or else, what are we really trying to achieve here? 1999? 1999 sucked too. We want to go back to 1099. We want to go back to the Middle Ages.
I'm so honored by that award that says Defender of Liberty, because there's nothing greater I could give my life to than that defense. And it's not every day that you find yourself on the FBI's most wanted list. It's not every day that your front door is pulverized by a battering ram, that your body is assaulted by jackbooted thugs with machine guns, and that your life is systematically disparaged, dismantled, and destroyed. That's what the American government did to me and over 1,500 others. But it's also not every day that you get a chance to stand for the truth at a moment when few others will do that. And it's certainly not every day that you get the opportunity to serve your country on deployment as a political hostage within your own country, a political hostage of a very corrupt government regime. So I'm very grateful that God gave me the opportunity to suffer for something great.
You see the talk about women? You see the talk about, the color of their own, that this attack that they supposedly are under, and that we need to ramp it up on women? You see that? And this is the latest video that just came out about a week ago from this Pastor Webbin or whatever his name is, that he continues to, this guy has talked crazy about women basically should be put to death if they caught in adultery. He teaches some of the most outlandish things out there. And listen to him right here.
Who are the victims currently in our American context? Well, I'll tell you, and I won't mince words. The actual victims in our American context today are heritage Americans. If you are a man, if you are a Christian man, if you are a non-sodomite, gay, furry man, and if you are a white man, then you are objectively on the books, be it Ivy League schools, or be it the hiring processes of Fortune 500 companies, or be it certain tax brackets, or be it just the general cultural milieu, or even among the perception of your local elders at your local church. If you are a young, white, single, straight man, you are, in the year of our Lord 2025, here in these United States, a legitimate victim. Women are atrocious today. They are immodest. They're hoes. They're dumb, like literally intellectually unintelligent. They are shallow. They are deceitful. They are wicked. They are vile. They vote for trannies. I'm not making it up. It is a 45-point difference between young men and young women today. That's where we're at. 45-point difference. Women are radical progressives.
You see? And these men, these people, that the turning point, that mindset that they use, that they come across, they reach these same types of people. This is the mindset. It's no wonder that there's always talk of people of different ethnicities and talking down of colors of other people and women and all of that coming from the mouths of these people. Oh, isn't that this something? And then you have right here, let's look at this where Nick Fuentes is, he's in shock and he's just making having a little fun with the fact that January the 6th, even after that, put Trump back into office. And how it's unbelievable, even after he knew, after it was obvious what happened. Let's listen to him out of his own mouth.
Let's not forget that on January 6, 2021, his supporters, including myself, stormed the Capitol. For legal purposes, I'll say I'd never entered the building, which I didn't. But rhetorically speaking, okay, his supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol in order to stop the transfer of power from the Democrats to the Republicans, just like the media said. The media said he won't admit that he will concede defeat. They said, when we do the election, he must swear that he will affirm the result, because What if he doesn't give up power? And he almost didn't. He never conceded defeat. He refused to concede throughout every constitutional procedural deadline. He challenged the result everywhere, summoned his supporters. And then at the last deadline, he summoned all of his legions to the capital city, where he gave a speech outside the White House and directed them to protest the result outside the Capitol where it was being tabulated. And they broke in. And now, don't get me wrong. That is a whole other conversation, whether it was organic, whether there were bad actors involved, whether it was a plot. That's an altogether separate discussion. It is true that whether there were some agitators or none, and I think there were some, his real supporters did breach the Capitol. They did break the windows. They did enter. They did beat cops. Okay, that happened. And they sent in the cops, the riot police to break it up. The DOJ arrested thousands of them. And it was after that Trump got elected in he won the popular vote in a landslide after that.
So he's telling you, I mean, this is the thing. So when you get people that these so-called people that you see on YouTube that claim to be pastors or Christian leaders or so, and they'll say, oh, that election it was stolen or blah, blah, blah. And they've made their whole ministry around that. And here a white nationalist has told you that was there. Has told you himself what has happened. And for these types of people, and did you know that Charlie Kirk, as we talked about in the revival video I made, the false revival, he believed that we got to go to the Capitol on January the 6th to stop this thing, and sent buses up there. He had the backing of millions of dollars to back this thing to go stand there and try to take part in overthrowing the government. And he was part of this. Does this sound like a Christian value? Somebody that's standing, and people would try to set up and say, well, he's standing up for his country and things. Well, let me tell you this, as I continue to tell people, politics, I don't know where this politics equals salvation come from. I don't know where it has this mindset that these organizations has put in place, that love of country, the flag, politic, your political ideology, you being a certain identifying with a certain political party puts you in right standing with God. That equals salvation. That is a lie from the pits of hell. When you stand before the Lord, he's not going to ask you what political party you belong to. He's not going to ask you were you wearing the flag or saluting the flag or you loved your country. He's not going to ask you that. Them questions aren't going to be asked. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of these people standing before the great white throne judgment. We'll talk more about that in another video. For those of you that may be new to the faith and things, we'll talk more about that. There's going to be a lot of people in a whole lot of trouble because they think that the worship and idolization of this world and of politicians is going to put them in right standing with God. Oh, they got another thing coming and things. So these organizations intertwine with one another. The people intertwine with one another. They're all part of the same. They preach hate. They preach bigotry. They preach racism. They preach all of that. And they think that this is going to somehow rile up the Holy Spirit and draw people into the faith. Well, you know what? It is a perverted version of Christianity. It is a perverted version. This is not the Jesus that they talk about, the Jesus that they claim that they love. It's not the Jesus of the Gospels. It's not the Jesus. Jesus did not mistreat the poor. Jesus did not mistreat people, period, for the sins and their mistakes. These people right here, they sit there and they are cutthroat. They are cutthroat. They try to tell people that, you know what? regardless of your credentials, regardless of how hard you have worked. Oh, they try to tell you, they want to shame you. They want to, and then if your skin color is not a certain color as many of them are that's claiming, you're not part of that. You're not going to be part of them. You're not going to be part of it. Just like bad as J.D. Vance wants to be part of this and claim that he's Christian, and part of that, they don't like his wife. And there's the other thing. What about the picture? These pictures here. What do you ladies think? I mean, what do you think if a woman hugged up? I asked my wife that. What if a woman hugged me like that and she had her hand like she looked at me like, oh no. I mean, isn't that a little intimate or so? But let's just close this video out because I don't want it to be super long. With this Indian woman asking J.D. Vance the question, why is it that we basically have to be Christian or so that to be able to be accepted into your country, into America? Let's listen to her.
And when you talk about too many immigrants here, when did you guys decide that number? Why did you sell us a dream? You made us spend our youth, our wealth in this country and gave us a dream. You don't owe us anything. We have worked hard for it. Then how can you as a vice president stand there and say that we have too many of them now and we are going to take them out to people who are here rightfully so by paying the money that you guys asked us? You gave us the path, and now how can you stop it and tell us we don't belong here anymore? And one more thing, I'm sorry. We talked about Christianity, all of this. I'm not even Christian, and I'm here standing to so support. Why are we making Christianity one of the major thing that you have to have in common to be one of you guys, to show that I love America just as you do? Why is that still a question? Why do I have to be a Christian?
And you see that? I mean, you can hear the pain in her voice. You can hear that. There's a lot. I mean, that's a shame that this is where we are in society now, that you have to identify with this particular group's turning points, these movements that are out here masquerading as Christianity. Frank Zappa, as I show you this other video, has said it best, and this is another clip of him saying it best as we close this video out. And I want you to see this, and we'll close it out because we'll continue to talk about the issues the church went away from, tackle Satan and his tactics, punch him right in between the chops. We're not going to let the devil, with the author of confusion, confuse those that are trying to seek the truth. We must stand up, those of us that know that we have to present the gospel in the positive light that Jesus has called us to do. Because the enemy has got all kinds of these fiery darts out here that he is throwing, and all types of things and barriers that he has put in place to keep people from seeing the light. Well, we're going to continue to shine our light and give God the glory. So as you close out and watch this video, until the next one, my friends, take care. I'm Maurice Braxton. Take care, my friends. God bless.
And this often cannot hear. Tom, it would work the way the implementation of any law works. You pass a law, it has words in it, and then the elected representatives of the people try their best to apply it. It's the way you do it with everything else. Will they apply it perfectly? No. But we're entitled to use the force of our civil government to help protect our families. How could you oppose that? Does the government have any purpose, Frank?
Yeah, it has a number of purposes.
What is it?
I'm not going to give you a civics lesson here, but I'll say one thing. We must not see eye to eye on the idea of a government that must forbid things in order to protect
Really? What is the
families.
government's role? You've told me several times what it shouldn't do.
How about national defense?
Yeah, I consider this national defense, pal. Our families are under attack from people like you with these lyrics.
John, you don't have to buy them.
Mr. Zappa,
Could I make a statement about national defense?
Yeah.
The biggest threat to America today is not communism. It's moving America toward a fascist theocracy. And everything that's happened during the Reagan administration is steering us right down that pipe.
Oh, Mr. Zappa, do
Zappa.
Do you really think? I mean, all kidding aside, in this country, with the permissiveness that we are moving toward a fascist theocracy, anything goes.
We are, but
do you think things like this would have ever been permitted?
Smile again.
When we were 20, when we were kids, you're about my age, maybe a little younger.
45.
Well, I'm 55. Do you think when I was a kid that they would permit songs like that to be sold? I mean, permissiveness is the game. I mean, you're not really serious if you're saying we're going toward a fascist theocracy.
That's right, we are.
Wait a minute. In what way? Give me one example. Wait. One example of a fascist theocracy.
When you have a government that prefers a certain moral code derived from a certain religion, and that moral code turns into legislation to suit one certain religious point of view, and if that code happens to be very, very right-wing, almost toward Attila the Hun.
Well, then you are an anarchist. Every form of civil government is based on some kind of morality, Frank.
Morality in terms of behavior, not in terms of theology.
Well, of course. But look, I mean, I couldn't believe in your hearing.
John,
okay, wait a minute, gentlemen. We have to take a break now.